There's some credit report changes coming down the pipe and you need to know about them. Hi, I'm Elena of Financialdemics, and today we are talking about the changes that the three major credit bureaus are putting into place starting January 1st, 2022. Now, they announced these back in March, and I told you about one of them in April when it came to the buy now, pay later plans, which I'll give you an update on that later. But I wanted to wait till closer to the date to give you the details on these other changes that they have going on. All right, and I have my notes here because I want you to know about all the details and not get confused about exactly what's going to happen. So basically, the three major credit bureaus came out and said that they are making some big changes when it comes to medical debt. So the first change that they are making is that they will no longer include medical debt that has been paid after being sent to collections on your credit report. So now you don't have to wait for it to be removed 7 years later. So once you pay it, it's going to be removed from your credit report. And this is really going to be helpful because they said that it's going to account for about 70% of medical debt that shows up on credit reports right now. So it'll help you out because those debts will be removed where that collection that is showing should be removed because you actually paid it, which should in turn affect your credit score. And I know there's a lot of people like, oh, you shouldn't worry about credit scores, but truthfully, I think unless you have a lot of resources, i.e. money, then your credit is really important to you because that may affect whether or not you're able to buy a home or even move into an apartment, pay deposits on utilities, things like that. Y'all know how I feel about credit when it comes to those things that can really affect your cash flow. The next thing that they are also going to do is they are adjusting the time period that it takes for medical collections to appear on your credit report. I don't know if y'all remember a while ago, and I don't remember exactly when, they adjusted it to 6 months that it would take for an unpaid medical collection to show up on your credit report. Well, now they are pushing that out to 1 year. So now it'll be a year, which is really great, especially because I even know just from situations of dealing with insurance and getting them to, pay, and if there's a dispute and things like that, it'll give people more time to get things like that handled. And then also, if you're a person who you're trying to work something out, pay off a medical debt, it gives you a little bit more time to get that paid before it actually affects your credit. And beginning in 2023, if the medical debt is not over $500, then it's not going on your credit report. So now that threshold is $500. So you can easily have a bill. I clearly remember having a bill from a doctor. He didn't do nothing. He didn't do anything. So annoyed about it still to this day. But it was a surgery my kid had, and this doctor who claimed he came to just see how the youngest patient in the ward was actually charged us for a visit. Anyway, but that bill was like $400 and something. Now, thank goodness my insurance paid for it, even though they shouldn't have, because still annoyed about that clearly. But even that, if that bill went unpaid, because let's say I was in dispute with them about paying it because he ain't really doing anything, then that wouldn't show up on my credit report as a collection if it took longer than it needed to. So those are things to think about because I know sometimes you have like really small little different medical bills. I think these updates are great. These are updates that are especially for the consumers. I think it's going to help out a lot of people. I have like a few people in mind right now who definitely have had unexpected things come up, and they definitely had to pay for a lot of different doctor's visits. And so this is just going to make their life just a little bit easier. And understand, it doesn't mean that you don't necessarily owe the debt, but it is going to help you out, because when it comes to medical collections, most people who have those type of debts, it's not that they don't want to pay. This is something that you really could not plan for, and we know that insurance is expensive regardless if it's the Affordable Health Care Act or not. Insurance can be expensive, and everybody doesn't necessarily have insurance, or because of whatever circumstances, it was just like the wrong time for something to happen, and maybe they were in transition and things like that. So this is really great for the consumers. Now, let's talk about the buy now, pay later plans. Now, in April, I talked to you about how the 3 credit bureaus basically have set up their systems to be able to report on buy now, pay later plans, and be able to show that on your credit to give the actual lenders a better idea in who you owe and what you owe and whether or not you'll be able to truly pay them back. But in that update, I told you that it was supposed to go into effect later in the year, and that also none of the buy now, pay later companies have done any updates or said that they will be submitting the information, because truthfully, they would have to submit the information to the credit bureaus for the credit bureaus to be able to report on them. I did a little research, and none of those companies still have come out to say that they will be submitting that information to the credit bureaus as of the recording of this video. So at this point, no update from the buy now, pay later companies. And I looked at all of them. So even though the credit bureaus are able to report, currently they're not going to have the information to report. So as things keep developing, I will let you know if any changes happen. We'll talk about it, because I definitely talked about the buy now, pay later plans and just things you should keep in mind with them. I'll link that video here so you can check it out if you want to. But for now, no reporting to the credit bureaus at this time. In the comments below, let me know, how are you feeling about this? Are you feeling good about it, especially if you have medical debt or you have somebody you care about with medical debt? I definitely personally do not have any medical debt, but I do have some people I love who do, so I'm really excited for them in this case, just because I know there's some issues going on with, sometimes getting insurance companies and the medical billing together on the same page and things like that can sometimes be difficult and a whole nother issue. Let me know how you feel in the comments below. And if you want to check out that update where I talked about the credit reporting for the buy now, pay later plans, then check out this video right here.